Hello and namaste, it's Jewel from Goddess Creative. How are you all going today? Okay, I'm just doing a little quick follow-up from my last video just to reintegrate the whole thing about us being multi-dimensional beings. Okay, so you're mini creator God, you're a conscious creator in this playground, this earth playground that is all just full of duality and dark and light energy, and we need to bring it all back and look at it from a distance perspective and manage the energies. So I just wanted to say how because this is an amnesia place where we very much forget, and we get trapped in a lot of stuff. And, you know, the powers that be, the ruling elite, or whatever you want to call them, they don't help the situation. That's why this playground, Earth Playground, is not that fun anymore to be playing around in. It used to be. It's still beautiful. I mean, I love Gaia. Earth is just the most beautiful, beautiful playground, isn't it? I mean, who doesn't love being in nature and just the beauty? It is astounding. It's what connects us. Being in that beauty of nature is actually what connects us back to our source, back to that feeling of source. So yeah, I mean, being here that's the saving grace, the nature, the beauty of Gaia. But I was wanting to say about you being and us all being aspects of Creator and the many creator gods that we are, and that how we get lost in our story, get lost in a narrative, okay? So that's why I just wanted to reintegrate this just a little further, that as you know, you're not just your body, you're not just a physical body, you are a multidimensional being. Just exactly the same, you are not your job, okay? So you're not just a teacher or a doctor or a hairdresser or whatever it might be, or an alternative healer of some sort. You are a sovereign soul, which is beyond that role. But many of us get trapped, many people do get trapped in that role of their academic learning, and unless they continue to seek and grow, they tend to just stay in that, and that's how they plod along. And maybe that's all their soul needs in this particular lifetime, because they'll come back in another lifetime and they'll evolve the soul even further. But as I said, this particular playground is not that fun to come back to unless you are, you evolve your soul high enough that you'll come back into 4D or 5D. So the same thing is with your story, okay? So I did talk about a little bit personally about my story, my childhood. It's not my story anymore, because my story right now is how much I have evolved my soul in this particular lifetime, okay? So I was once that little girl that was lost and helpless. I was once that teenager that was wounded and in a lot of pain. I was once that young mother that was almost lost in her parenting skills, to even know how to parent children, and is why I became a life coach over 20 years ago. But I was once that, but I'm not any of those anymore. I'm not any of those stories, okay? And whilst it's great to talk about your story to help connect with other people, and the connection is amazing, absolutely, and that's how we get like-minded, and that's how we share ourselves and build better connections. But if you're lost in your story and you're always about the same story, then hello Zilly, then you're no longer you're just no longer moving or growing or evolving your soul. And so, as I said, it may be okay. This is maybe just what you chose for this particular lifetime. But we do have great opportunity every time, every single time we come back here to Earth to grow and evolve our souls even further. And you don't have to do it in this, like, we don't grow and evolve our souls when we haven't come in to experience. We just stay at a certain level when we pass over, okay? So that is why coming in, and many of us pleading to come in as way showers now, promising not to forget, promising not to, or we all do forget, but promising to come out of the amnesia faster and uplift our own souls first. You gotta, it's your journey, your knowledge, your wisdom that you're gaining for your soul self first. And it is beneficial if you can take others along the way with you. If you can, right? Because yes, props and, brownie points up there. If you do, it's just when you do leave this earth timeline, your soul evolves even higher with greater wisdom and greater knowledge, greater peace, greater understanding. That's the path, the journey. That was particularly my path, my journey. So I'm not saying my path, my journey is the same as all your path and your journey, but you do have the ability to be that wise one, that great one of wisdom and knowledge to share with others. And yes, many will take my narrative, take what I say, and they'll bundle it up and they'll put it in a package and they'll sell it. And that's the corporate, thing. Whereas my information is free. This is free, and I don't, there's no mistakes. You're actually here for a reason to gain this wisdom, and I have followed many, many wise people in my time. I've read many, many works, through my learning experience. So that's just what this is. You come across my work for added benefit and growth of your soul's growth, if you wish to run with it. So, like I did mention Abraham Hicks, yes, I did follow that work, going back, I think it was 2010, and I loved that narrative of raising your vibration and keeping your vibration high. But at the same time, some of those people that follow that work also just get stuck in that narrative and forget the growth of their soul. So they're only wanting to only ever see happiness and light and be joyous, but their soul doesn't grow with that. They're not involved. They're not evolving their soul's growth just with that. Not saying that's not good. It is. It's amazing. It's fabulous. It's more than some souls will do. Okay, but we actually have an opportunity to grow and evolve our souls so greatly in this timeline that it can be so beneficial to us beyond this life we're experiencing now. Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah. And I mean, I've read many great works and I've done theta healing, and I've read the Vienna Sibyl, I think it's the White Book for the theta healing. Like, great information. There's great information in a lot of people's works. Ramtha, I've read Ramtha. But it doesn't need to be all like huge or great works. I was following a lady back in 2007 and 2008 who she wrote a couple of books, and she was in spiritual forums there when we had the box computers. So I was following her work, and her name is Karen Bishop, and she's seen through to what 5D looks like and the other timeline looks like. And back then in 2008, I wasn't seeing anything. But I knew that what she was saying to me really resonated with me. So I very much loved her work, and it was very uplifting work. She's now completely dropped off the radar, and she warned she would do that. She would drop off the radar and have done her part. She'd done her mission to assist and help many people as possible. I don't know, if you can so easily find her works and stuff like that. So in other words, she didn't turn her stuff into like a corporate that, put her stuff in, Zilly, stop, please. Put her stuff in the wheel of the big corporate stuff, like a lot of the other New Age people have done. And it's all about the money, and you have to pay them a lot of money, and you'll get knowledge and wisdom. So I don't believe it needs to come like that. So what I'm delivering to you, and a lot of information I've gained myself along the way, and how I got to be who I am today, is from some people's work that isn't profoundly going to charge you a huge amount of money to get the knowledge. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, don't think my work is not of value because I'm offering it to you for free, or does not come with a lot of great wisdom, because it does, okay? It doesn't all need to be bundled up in a package where it's going to cost you a couple of grand, which a lot of the Hay House stuff is, and a lot of other, big, spiritual teachers are. I'm not claiming to be a spiritual teacher either. I want to say that as well. I think you can get lost in your story and your narrative. Many people do, and it is about churning out the to make more money, or it is just about they're so lost in their story that, or the narrative of what they know, or their academic what they know, that they're no longer learning or growing. And yes, there's learning and growing the mind, but there's also learning and growing spiritually. But there's also a learning and growing, evolving the soul. Okay, so the number one thing you can do is learn and grow your own soul first, and then you can share that with others. I think that's one of the best things you can do. Worth far more than money. Okay, I think I might have managed to keep this really short, and that's brilliant. I'm really proud of myself. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. I just wanted to have this like as a little tail end to my last video, which reply to Charlie, and I hope he got some benefit out of it. Maybe he did and maybe he didn't. Look, none of us are all going to be on the same level, and some of you are just going to get what you need in this lifetime. Some of you may feel really worn out from this lifetime because powers of me made it not very nice for us here. And so some of you may just decide, I don't want to play in this playground anymore. And whether you're actually conscious of yourself saying that or not, on a spiritual level of your conscious, that'll be what's decided. That this earth playground is not fun to play in anymore. I've gathered what I've gathered. I want to go home, right? Which is, you're an eternal soul that goes on forever. You want to go back to your light family, and you want to replenish. Okay, so that's just, everybody's journey is different. So I wish you well. I wish you so much love, light, and brilliance, being your empowered self, whoever and whatever level you're at and wherever you're meant to be. Okay, I'll leave it there. Namaste.